Yep. Hello, everyone. Yep. Have you guys implemented up to here? Like, let me know how many of you done. So here, whenever user visits our page, we just wanted to show only sign in page. We don't wanted to show navbar also. Okay. So if user is not logged in means let's assume that here if I'm making value as a false, then we are showing only sign in page. Apart from that, we are not showing anything else. If user is logged in, then we will show home page. We have to show home page. Okay, so that we can remove this sign in link from here. We can remove this sign in and sign up link from here. So can I go back? One minute, guys. Yeah. So if user is logged in, then if you see here, we have to show home page. Okay, directly we have to show home page. Right now we are not able to show. Suppose if I just say slash, it is showing sign in page only. So we don't want to show sign in page. These two links I want to remove, sign in and sign up from here. So for that, we have to go back to our components, nav.jsx, and remove these two links. And for home also, we have to keep slash. We have to keep slash. And now we have to do changes in routing also. So go to back to the routing.jsx or in the route.jsx. Here for home also, we want this. But somehow we have to manage this both. For same path, we have to manage both. So how we will manage, guys? Any idea how we will manage this? Because here, if you see path slash, for this also we are rendering home. For path slash here also we are trying to render login. So somehow we have to manage this scenario. So whenever path is slash, only slash, then first we have to check whether user is logged in or not. If user is not logged in, then we have to render login component. If user is logged in, on slash path, we have to render home component. We have to render home component. So how can we do this? Anyone have any kind of idea?
Oh, we can have a
We
condition.
want to add a placeholder tag or some attribute.
Where we can add placeholder attribute. Yeah. Someone was telling condition where we have to add condition.
Like we can import the store here and add a condition for each logged in and take the component into a variable and render that variable instead of a hard-coded value, either home or login.
Okay. So here I have to import what?
Store.
Import store. So store from, I think we have default store, default export for the store. Let's check. Yes, we have default. So here import store from dot slash or dot double dot slash store slash store. Yes, I have imported store now.
We can use selector.
But you cannot use selector outside hooks, sorry, outside component. Now here we
Oh.
don't have any component. If you see here, I don't have, see, hooks are, you can use hooks only inside the React component and back to functional component. Now, if you see routes.jsx in this file, we don't have any component. We have just one array, and in that we have objects where we have configured our component and paths. So here we cannot use the selector hook. So basically the solution is, what is the solution means, somehow we have to get this value, is logged in value we have to get. Based on this value, we have to decide which component we have to render. How you will decide? Instead of writing like this two paths, what we are going to do means, we will write only one route. Okay, instead of adding like this two objects, let's assume that I am commenting this. Here we will write one condition. What condition? For example, if it is a true, then it means user is logged in. Whenever user is logged in, you have to render home component. If it is false, then you have to render login component. So like this condition we can write using this ternary operator. But we want this value, right? This value true or false, this value we want. This value is present in our Redux. It is present in our Redux. Now the question is how to get this value.
We can import the reducer that whatever we export, we export in reducer file. I mean,
Reducer you cannot import. Why you
yes.
import reducer?
Can we import this login reducer?
No. Even if you import, how you will manage the things? Because in future here we are going to write a lot of condition based on action object, right? But here you don't have any action object also. You will not get any action object also. And one more drawback is if you call any dispatch, then this here that reducer will get triggered. So one more option what we have is, now here we cannot get Redux data because we cannot use selector hook. So what we can do is
Props.
let me just keep this as it is. Okay, we will not disturb this anything. We will go back to our routing.jsx file. Props also not possible. You don't have component only here. In this file, you don't have any component. So what we can do is we can go back to the routing.jsx file. Here we have a component. So can we get that data here, that Redux data? So for that we require use selector. So I will import use selector from React Redux. I will get that is logged in value. We can use here const because anyways we are not going to change it. Use selector and that one callback function. You will have a store data. Okay, we'll just write store. Now here we have to return store dot is logged in. Now here we got is logged in. True or false. So can we write that condition here? In the element.component. Will it works here? Here I will just write if he is logged in, if user is logged in, then show that element dot component, or else just show here login component only. For that we should have login component here. So let's import login component from pages slash login slash login. So basically what I'm doing inside this route, I'm writing the condition. If it is true, if user is logged in, then whatever component you are getting from that route, you just render that one, or else you have to render login. Now in this case, let's see it will work or not. Now here we have home and products. Okay, on see here with the path is just slash. On the slash path, we are getting home component because user is logged in right now. Here value is true. But if I make this value as a false, here we got this one. Now on same path, slash path, we got sign in page only. And manually, if user try to navigate to products page also, still he will be in the sign in only. See, manually here I am trying to go to my products page, but still I am in the sign in only. So it is not allowing me to navigate to products page. It is not allowing me to navigate to products page because I am not logged in yet. But the moment I log in, I will be able to navigate from one page to another page. If I just go back to login view reducer, and if I just make it true, I will be able to navigate to the products page. Here I can navigate home page or products page. Now let's add some more links here so that it looks a little bit good. So in nav.jsx, I'll just do here one thing. Instead of products, I will add menswear. Let me add one more too. Here is women's wear, and here kids wear. So we got something like this. Here we got home, menswear, women's wear, kids wear, right? And let's add products also. Slash products, your products. Okay, some electronic products we can show. Right now here, I will not add any row or path. In future, you can just decide here what you want. That's it. Now if I click here, we don't have any component. Here also no component. Here also no component. Here we have products. Here we have home. We want one logout button. We want here one logout button. So can we add here one button called logout? Just add class name btn hyphen outline hyphen danger. So we got here button, and here I will add some margin right hyphen 5. Margin right we don't have, margin end we have. So some space we got here. Now if I click on this logout, I should get back to my login page. So what logic I have to write here? Before that, let me know whether you understood this point or not, what I have done here. This part. Let me know on the chat whether you understood or not. If you understood, then I will proceed with the next part. If you did not understand, then I will try to re-explain what I have done here. Yeah, Suresh, Harish understood. What about remaining guys? See, if you tell, then only I will come to know, guys, whether you're understanding or not. If you don't tell, then I won't
Sir,
able.
can you go over one more time?
Yeah. See, the situation right now, what is our requirement means? First, understand the requirement, okay? So I will just comment this part. I will just get back to initial position. This is how the things were till now. And if I get back to that routes part, here for home we added /home path, and for login we just added /. So whenever it is a slash, whenever it is just a slash, we are showing the sign in component. And whenever we are adding /home, we are showing the home component. This is the scenario right now. Whenever in our browser URL, the path is /home, we are showing the home component. Whenever the path is just slash, we are showing the sign in component. Suppose user is not logged in. Let's assume that if user is not logged in, it means this value is false. The moment this value is false, we are just showing sign in component right now. We are not showing navbar also. Yesterday we have seen how to hide navbar if user is not logged in. Suppose manually if I change this path, because now here I don't have navbar, so I cannot click on any links, but I know the path. So manually if I try to change it to products and click on enter. Now see, I am navigating to the products component. If I manually, if I try to navigate to the home, I'm navigating to the home component. Now we want to restrict this part. If user is not logged in, we don't want him to access home page or products page. He cannot access home page also. He cannot access your product page also if he is not logged in. That is what we want. So for that, what we are going to do, we have to write some kind of condition. What is that condition? We have to check. If user is logged in, then you can render home component or product component whenever he uses those paths. If he is not logged in, though he is accessing the path, we have to navigate him to the sign in page only. We have to navigate him to the sign in page only or login page only. So first we have to check whether he is logged in or not. Whenever he click on any link, first we have to check he is logged in or not. If he is logged in, we will allow him to visit that particular page. If he is not logged in, then we will redirect him to the login page. We will redirect him to the login page. That is our first thing. And second point is, if you see here in the routes, for home component, my path is /home. For login component, my path is /. My requirement is for login component also, I want path only /. And for home component also, I want path as a only /. Why? Because when user is not logged in, at that time, I want to show login component at this path. When user is logged in at same path, I want to show home component. That is my second requirement. First requirement, if user is not logged in, we will not allow him to visit any other routes, whether home page, product page, or any other page. That is the first requirement. Second requirement, if user is not logged in, then on this path, we want to show login component. If user is logged in, then on same path, on this path only, I want to show home component. Now the question is how you can show two components on same path, how you can configure that route. So for this, we have to write condition. What is that condition? Again, we have to check whether user is logged in or not. If he is logged in, then we will show home component on slash. If he is not logged in, then we will show login component on slash. Now the question is where we have to write that condition. Basically, that condition should be written here because here we are rendering home component and login component. But now the value which we want to understand whether user is logged in or not, that is coming from Redux. So if that is coming from Redux, then we can get the data from Redux only using use selector hook. And hooks always you have to use inside a functional component. Now here we don't have any functional component. It means we cannot use selector hook here. And if you cannot use selector hook, then you cannot get that Redux value. And if you don't have Redux value, you cannot write conditions. Then what is the next option? Next option is we have one file called routing.jsx, in which we are implementing these routes. Now here we have a component. So what we are going to do now? Now first let's get that Redux data to understand or to identify whether user is logged in or not. How to get that Redux data? For that we are using use selector hook. So we have imported it and we have used that selector hook. And finally here we are able to get the data whether user is logged in or not. Now, based on this data, we have to write the condition. Now, where we can write the condition? Now, here we are implementing this route. So here all routes are coming. And here we are deciding which component need to be rendered. So here only we can write that condition. So how we are writing the condition? We are seeing is logged in value. What is this? If it is a true means user is logged in. In that case, you just render this specific component, whichever user is requesting. If user is not logged in, if this value is false, in that case, you have to render login component only. You have to render login component only. So here it will check the value. If it is true, then whatever link he have clicked or whatever component he wanted to visit, that component will render. Suppose he is not logged in. If it is a false, in that case, always login component will only render. It means always on the screen, he will see login component only. Login component only. Even if he tries to change path manually, then also here this condition is going to work. So two scenarios, that two use cases will be solved by just adding this condition here. Now see, now if you go back here, now path is here, we don't have, after port number, you don't have anything, means you have a slash. On this slash, we are showing the sign in component. It means user is not logged in. Now for just to understand whether user is not logged in or not, just go to login reducer and check the value. So it is a false, it means user is not logged in. So if user is not logged in, we are showing the sign in component. Now manually, if I try to navigate to some other path like products, so let me just check whether I'm able to access products component or not. I will click on enter. See, I'm not able to access. Still, I am here only. Still, I am here only. Still, I am here. Now let's assume that user is logged in. So how to make user is logged in right now? Just make it this value as a 2. So whenever E is logged in is true, it means user is logged in. The moment it is a true, you will see home page. Now we are not seeing sign in page, we are seeing home page. Now here, manually, if I try to go to the products route, I will be able to access products component as well. So here I got products component. Okay. This is the scenario. Now what we want to do is, if I click on this logout, again, I want to navigate back to login component. If I click on this logout button, now where is this logout button? This logout button is present inside your nav component. Here you have this logout button. Now, can you guys tell me how to navigate to the login component? If I click on this logout button, what I need to do? First, tell me on very high level what I need to do. Then how to do, that we will discuss. So requirement is, if
I think put this one inside the link, and when we click the button, then redirect it to the login page.
okay,
We need to update the store value is logged into false.
yes, that is what I wanted. So what we want, whenever we click on this button, somehow we have to update this value to false. We have to make this value false. That is the solution. Whenever you click on this logout button, you have to change this property value to false. It means we have to update our store. Now, how can you update your store? How can you update your store? Using reducer. Only using reducer, you can update your store data. Now, how can you call reducer? Can we call reducer directly? Can we call reducer directly from
No.
our component? No. Then how to call reducer?
We need the action, object action, and then we call the page.
No. Anything else, guys? You told it in the
Using dispatch.
yes. So how can you call reducer function means you have to tell using dispatch function and action object. Okay. So how can we get the dispatch function? Now we are here in the nav.jsx component. Here we have a button. So how can I get that dispatch function? How to get dispatch function here? How to get dispatch? To get dispatch function, your React router React Redux is giving a hook called use dispatch. Can you import that hook from React Redux called use dispatch? This is a hook. Nav is a component, so I can call inside this component this hook. So whenever I call that hook, it will return me the dispatch function. So whenever I call use dispatch, it will return me the dispatch function. Now I have a dispatch function. Now this function I need to call on click of this button. So can I just add on click here? And can I call a function called logout? Can I define that logout function here somewhere? Const logout. And inside this logout function, can I call dispatch? See what we are doing. Whenever user click on this button, we are calling the logout function. Logout function internally calls dispatch. Now dispatch internally calls your reducer. But whenever we are calling dispatch, we have to pass one action object also, right? So if you want, you can create one separate action creator now. Okay, From component, first of all, we have to call action creator. So inside this src only, if you want, you can create your action creator. Or else what we can do is inside this nav, I can create one separate file called action creator. .js. So what is action creator? It is a simple function. So I will say here logout action creator. It is a simple JavaScript function. What action creator function will do? It should always return action object. Action object. And in this action object, you can add type property with some values. I will just add here logout. And if you want, you can add payload. I will say payload as a false. Payload is nothing but data which you want to give to the reducer so that reducer can update that data in your Redux. Now, this function we can export from here. Export default logout action creator. Now, this function we have to import in our, so here right now we don't require import React. So import logout action creator. We have imported logout action creator. Now this is a function logout action creator. This logout action creator we can give to the dispatch and call here. Now what logout action creator internally it will do? Internally it will return action object, and internally dispatch is going to call your reducer. So this reducer will be called. Now in this reducer you have to manage it. How to manage? For that you can use if or you can use switch also. This time I will go with switch case. So here action dot type I will pass. If my action dot type matches with any case, like case, I will just write here logout. If it matches with my case logout, in that case, what you need to do? In that case, we can do things in so many ways. One way is we can take this current state. To this state, we can assign new object. And inside this new object, I want to update this is logged in to false. How to update that false value is in our payload. So action dot payload. This is how we can do. Now, whenever you click on this logout button, logout function will be called. Internally, logout function will call dispatch. Internally, dispatch will call logout action creator. Logout action creator will return one action object. Then dispatch will call reducer. And that action object, it will store here inside this second parameter. Now here, it will check action dot type. It's a logout. Then it will try to match with a case. So this case will match. Whenever this case is matched, then what we are doing, we are taking this state parameter, we are assigning a new object to it, and we are adding is logged in, and its value we are assigning action dot payload value. So what is action dot payload value? Action dot payload value is false. It means is logged in value will become false. Now this case will end. You have a break statement, then you have a return statement. Return state means now this object will be returned and it will be stored in your Redux. And if you go back here, now let's try here. If I click on logout, I'm back to signing. In the same way, if I click on this sign in, I want to log in. Okay, that conditions we will check later on, but right now a simple way is if I click on this sign in, I want to get, like, I want to make this value true. This value, I want to make it true. So by default, it is, let's assume that it's false. But the moment I click on sign in, I want to make it true. So what I have to do for that? So we have to go to login component. So that is under pages, I think. Because login is going to represent one page only, entire page. So here I have two, right? So I will remove this. So I just give one login.jsx. Now, whenever I click on this button, login button or sign in button, I want to log in. Right now, directly if I click on sign in, I want to log in. So how to log in? For that, you have to change your is logged in property value to true. So inside this login, can I create one action creator? Action creator dot js. So const login action creator. Now what the login action creator is going to do? It will just return one action object in which you will have a type value as a login. And payload value is, I will make it true. Now we can export it. Export default your login action creator. Now where we have to import login action creator? Inside the login component, because from here we have to call reducer, and to that reducer we have to pass this action object. So login action creator. Now whenever you click on this button, sign in button, I want to call a function called login. So now we have to define that function called login. So const here login function I will define. Now inside this function, what we have to call? We have to call dispatch first. For that, again, we should require dispatch. So again, here you import use dispatch and call that use dispatch. It will return one dispatch function. Same, whatever we have done for logout, same thing we are doing for login also. So now whenever user clicks on sign in button, he will call login function, and here I will call dispatch, and inside this dispatch I will call login action creator. Now whenever I call dispatch with login action creator will return one action object. Dispatch will call reducer. Again, my control will come to reducer. Now the action dot type value is login. So I have to write here one case. The case is login. So if the case is login, what we have to do to this state, again, we will assign new object, and is logged in property, we will make it action dot payload. And then we will add break statement and return this data. Now, if I go back here, if I click on sign in, I am logged in. Now I can access all the things, whatever I want to access. Now see again, here we have products. Now we have to check this condition if something is going wrong. Okay, let me click on sign in. Now if I'm trying to access products, now it is navigating me back to sign in only. So it should not navigate. Here something is going wrong with us. But right now this is working. If I click on sign in, we are in the home. Again, if I go home, it's logging out me. So some routing condition became wrong. We have to check that part. to sign in. If I click on log out, log out. If I click on sign in, and sign in. But now the problem is, if you navigate to products, here again we are getting back sign in. That is because, let me just check why it is happening. Logout state is logged in only. Is logged in only. Login reducer. In the routing.jsx. Here, can we check the value of is logged in, what it is giving to us?
One more thing, in the routes dot array, do we need the login component?
Here,
Yeah.
it's a required login component. So if you don't take login component, also it should work. Let me just comment this. Now, let's suppose slash. Now, if I go back to sign in, yes, products. Sign in again, it is hitting. Means if you are visiting any route, it is navigating to sign in only. That might be because of this condition. Yeah, this condition. But here it should be always true, right? Once he is logged in, this value should be true only. Now let's check dispatch. If I click on in, so we did not configure Redux logger, right? Let's configure Redux logger here so that we can check our store status, how exactly the data is getting stored in the store. So import logger, then you have to import apply middleware, pass this apply middleware function, to that you pass logger. Now if I click on sign in, now is logged in value was false, type got login, payload became true, is logged in became true. Okay. Now this is because of the home page. In home page, this image is not displaying, right? That error it is. Now is logged in value became true. Now if I try to visit, if I just say logout, it was true, it became false. Again sign in, fine. So let me clear this. Now if I try to visit Kidswear, just getting me back sign in. Let's keep this true and let's check if this value is getting affected. Logout, it was true, it became false. Then sign in. Let's add here products. We are able to access home. Something home, just slash home page. Your home page, log out. If I click on sign in, products, menswear, women's wear, kids wear, home. Again, log out, sign in, homes, products, home. Click on log out. Products we are able to access means again home we are able to access. Again, if I log out, log out. But the problem is if we keep this value by default false, then we are getting the issue. Now, if I click on sign in, true. If I click on products, it's navigating me to the sign in. Now, can you guys guess why? See, the problem here is, okay, so let's try to understand this problem. So let's assume that user is visiting our application. So he is in the sign in. Let's assume he entered some email ID, some password. Now he will click on sign in. Let's assume he entered proper credentials and we are navigating him to the our application home page. Now he is signed in. Now he is in the home page. Now he will click on products. The moment he click on products, you should show here products component. But the bug is we are navigating him to the login component back. It means somehow it is logging him out or some condition is going wrong. If I click on products, it is coming back to the sign in. It should not come back to the sign in. We should be in the products page. Now this issue might be because of here somewhere. So is logged in value. So still here is logged in value might be false only. Here it is taking this is logged in value as a false. Now anybody can guess what is the mistake we are doing? If you are able to find the bug, it means you understood the Redux concept. See here, I'm clicking on products. The moment I click on products, I'm getting signed. It means we are losing that Redux, the current state. This is because in our nav bar, if you visit any link, if you see, if you visit, right now I'm in the products. If I visit home, my page is refreshing. The moment my page refresh, I am losing my Redux data. So whenever I lose my Redux data, then in my Redux, I will get the default data and default data is false. So right now, see, right now we are in the login. So the moment I click on sign in, now my Redux data got changed to true. Here, this became true. Now, whenever you are true, you should be able to navigate all the routes. But the moment I click on products, my page is getting refreshed. The moment my page gets refreshed, my application will reload. And whenever my application reload, current Redux data I will lose. Now inside the current Redux, we have is logged in value as a true. But the moment my application reloads, the moment my application refresh, I am losing this value true. And I will get my default value as a false. So it will consider user is not logged in. When user is not logged in, it will show sign up page only. So what is the solution? You have to restrict that loading part, reloading part. And how can we restrict that reloading part, guys?
I think we using the anchor tag where we replace with the link.
That's it. So here we are using anchor tags. We have to replace it with the link component. So can we try? Let's import link component from React Router DOM. And let's replace all the anchor tags with link component. And let's replace href attribute with 2 props. Okay, now again, let's check. Let's click logout. Let's check what is login reducer. It's false only. Now I will click on sign in. Now user is signed in. If you click on products, now see products component. Means we are not found, it's not found, remains not found. Again, home, we are able to access. Here we are able to access the things. Now if I click on logout, I'm back. Again, sign in, home. Here there is one more issue. Okay, what is that issue? I will explain. But here this part is working now. We are home. If I log out, again, if I click here, again, the product, fine. Now, you see, if I click on logout, okay, I'm logging out. But see, this path is not changing. And the moment this path doesn't change, and again, if I click on sign in, I will be in the products page. Now, I should not be in the products page. I should be in the home page, right? So right now, you are in the home page. You are navigating to product, fine. You are coming to home, fine. Now, from home, if you log out, you are in the sign in. Now, again, if I log in, I should navigate to home page only. I should not navigate to any other page. Okay. But let's assume that you are in the products page. From here, you have clicked on logout button. So you came to sign in. Now, if I click on sign in button, then I should go to home page. But right now we are going back to the products page only. Now we don't want this. We want once user is logged out, again, if he logged in, then we should go to login page only. We should go to login page only. Now this issue is coming because this path is not changing. See, right now the path is /products. Now the moment I click on logout, we are showing sign in page, but still the path is not changing. Your URL path is not changing. It's still /products only. That is the reason. Again, if you log in, the path is /products, and whenever /products, it is showing you products component. So now what we have to do is, whenever we click on this logout, we have to change this path. We have to change this path to the /. So that if you change back to this / again, if you click on sign in, you will be in the home page. So how to do that? That we will see in next session. Next session will be on Monday, guys. Tomorrow, Friday. Okay. You have 2 days of time. I thought to take tomorrow's session, but I just don't want to take because I want you to work on this till we have implemented it with understanding. So if required, watch recording 1 or 2 times and try to develop everything from scratch by your own without seeing any recording or code. Till that you have to practice. For example, you started developing this application. Suddenly you stuck somewhere. Now you are not understanding how to proceed. Then you will watch recording or you will watch reference code and you will implement it. Then you will resolve that problem. Now what you have to do once that problem is resolved, again you have to start developing same thing from the scratch. Again, suppose if you stuck somewhere, again you have to watch recording or you have to watch reference code. And if you come to know your solution, you have to implement it. Again, you have to start from scratch, developing the things. You have to repeat this process till you are able to develop everything from start to end without any confusion, without any stuck or without any kind of issues. And with understanding, if you are able to do, then only you have to stop it. So if you do like this, then only you will understand the things. And this is what we call as a practice. Okay. So right now we are just clicking on sign in and we are navigating. Now in coming days, what we will do, we will check the credentials. If credentials are right, valid, then only we will navigate, or else we will not navigate user to the home page. All those also we will write in coming sessions. Okay, so I will push this code right now so that you can spend your time and work on this. Yeah, guys, that's all from my end. If you have any doubts, let me know. In case if you don't have any doubts, yeah, you guys can drop. Let's meet on Monday, guys.